Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my Dimensions End Tier 5 Reckoning run with these lunatic mummies, which were a pain in the ass. Here you're going to definitely notice the Lufenia Plus Brave reductions. I'm going to start off with Ferris's call to lower down the defense, just trying to do as much damage as possible. I'm bringing Agrias here to apply Confuse and on the enemy so that way they can't attack. Now, the key to this stage is actually the A and C, the smaller mini royal mummies. Those are the ones that are going to get you most of your damage, because when you do AoE attacks, all the brave hits that you're going to do to those mummies are going to contribute to your overall brave gain. So if you don't have those two mummies there, you're not, not unless you have Setzer in the party, you're not going to really do that much brave damage or get brave gains from your attacks, because they don't have the same defense that the royal mummy, which is the center mummy, has. Now here I'm trying to go for A and C, because if A and C's, the mini mummies, if their HP is not under 50% by the time that the main mummy is at 79, you're gonna get a guaranteed KO. So they're going to do an attack called Lake Fire, and it's going to turn into Lake Fire Plus, and the plus just means it's a guaranteed hit and you are going to die. There's no way around it. And that's, again, only if A and C's HP is not under 50% by the time the main mummy hits either 79, 49, and 29%. So the goal here is going to be to try to lower down the mini royal mummy's HP down below 50%. And you kind of want to time this while you're also lowering down the main mummy's HP attack. The main mummy is going to start off by just doing that single target attack. Then it's going to go into, I believe it's called Castigate, which is an AoE attack. Then after that, I believe it's going to do the Lake Fire attack. And it's going to continuously keep doing those three, I believe, in that order. So here what I ended up doing is trying to lower down the defense as much as possible through calls, and also this is where I think Ace turns into a really great debuffer, because with his LD whole card debuff, it'll inflict the 40% down, and then if you do it again, it's going to set off the trap, turn it into blind stud turn, which that also gives 40% minus on defense. So if you have both the whole card and the blind turn, God, I really messed that one up, didn't I? Blind stun turn on, then you're going to get minus 40% defense from both, which I will be doing, I think, later on here in the match. So here, as you can see, both A is at 51%, C is at 47-ish. So with this attack, it now brings A and C both down below 50%. So now I can go ahead and try to do damage to the middle mummy, which is B. Once the mummy hits 79%, it's going to make both royal mummies commit like suicide, just pretty much blow themselves up. But they're going to get resummoned back right away. So you see here, it's 79%, and then it does Lake Fire, explodes. Same thing with the C. Now, if they weren't under 49% at this point, you would have died. Now, B is going to resummon them again. But this is a good thing, because like I said, their defenses are really low, and that's the reason I'm bringing out Ferris. Ferris is more of lowering down the two mummies' defense, both A and C, because once you do that, now you're going to be able to do max damage literally to them. So here I'm going to start trying to lower down B's HP, because the turn count, I believe, is also 70, which is very, very tight. And then the goal is to, as I'm getting closer, I first want to focus on A and C to, again, get them below 50%, but you don't want to get them to 50% and then start doing damage to B, because now you're just wasting a lot of HP damage on A and C from that point on forward, when you could have applied it towards B. So once you get A and C down to at least like 60 to 65%, at least with the team that I have here, then I'm going to start focusing on B to make sure that by the time B hits the next threshold, which is 49%, at that point I'm barely getting A and C down to under 50%. Here you could use Agrias's Faded Molly to stop B from attacking. Then you could also use her Silence if you see that they're about to use the Lake Fire attack, because that is a magic attack, and Silence will prevent, I believe it's magic attacks. So it's like another form of almost paralyzed, but it has to come in the form of them wanting to do a magic damage attack. And so and then you also have Paralyze. So with Agrias, she's going to give you a bunch of different ways to stop B from attacking, which is going to come in handy also here towards the end, because in one of those thresholds, which I believe is 79, 49, or 29%, it's going to do a follow-up move right after A and C destroy themselves, and that move is extremely strong. And so you have to try to either endure it with some type of HP mitigation, or you're gonna die at the very end. That's just the way it goes. So here, the mummy, both A and C are about 73, 72%. So I do want to start inflicting some damage on B, because it does take longer to bring down B than it does A and C. B has 19 million damage, or 19 million HP, when the two small boss mummies have only 4 mil. Now with this orb, the orb never goes away, and the way that the orb will count down, or sorry, will go up, is if the enemy's brave is less than 10,000 after their turn. So for example, like B is going to attack here, right? But it's confused, so it cannot attack. So at that point, the orb is going to count up. Now, the orb is not going to count down, because it's +1 for every turn that it has less than 10,000 brave. And because it's not counting down, because the boss does not have any brave, which this is where Ace helps out tremendously, because as soon as the boss attacks, then you have Ace's trap that gets triggered, and then it's going to bring down the brave immediately, so that the orb doesn't start counting up. So that is going to be, I think, one of the key things here, is to have a lot of off-turn damage. And as you can see, the orb, it's very easy to have the orb go up by 1, just because, again, the enemy has less than 10,000 brave damage. So here, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to start trying to bring down B's HP, because both A and C are around 54%. So now with a lot of these characters doing AoE damage, by the time that I get B to, which is what, about 49%, A and C should be below 50%. So you can see A's already at 50, C's at 52. So from here on out, I'm just going to try to target B to try to get him to that 49% threshold. And as you can see, everybody normally when they have an AoE attack, they're hitting for max damage, just because A and C are contributing so much to the damage. As long as you have any kind of defense down, it doesn't have to be a lot, you're going to be able to cap on Brave. If you try to eliminate these two guys, or one of them, let's say for example, you're not going to be doing as much Brave damage. At least not from the way that I play the stage and what I noticed, you're just not. So here you're going to notice now B's at 49%. There is one mummy sacrificing itself. Here's the next one. And so there you go. Now it's going to resummon him again, and is just continuously repeating this, making sure that you could heal. So here what I'm going to do is, since Agrias does have, I believe, HP regeneration, I need to start healing up with the regeneration, and also with her S1 skill that also heals the party. Right here, I'm going to apply defense down. So all of my calls are normally defenses down. So I already used all of Ferris's. Now I'm going to use Tidus's call, and that's going to also bring down their defense. So that's going to be, I think, minus 50% defense with Tidus, or 40 or 50%. But I believe it's 50%. And then on top of that, now I have Ace's. I have both of Ace's debuffs on here. So if you can see, the one on the very right with one turn is the whole card, and then the one with 6 is going to be his trap, which is going to be the blind stud turn. And both of those debuffs are going to do 40% minus 40% defense to the boss. On top of that, I also have Tidus's, I think it's 50% defense down from his just regular defense down. um, and so that's what's going to allow me to continuously keep hitting for so much damage. Now, I don't need to apply so many debuffs to do max damage because of A and C, but I do want to make sure that I'm hitting as hard as I can, or hitting B for as hard as I can. And right here, since I'm going to be using Sid Reigns a lot to target B, that's the reason I'm applying so much defense down to try to maximize how much damage Sid Reign does, because when he's doing his launch attack, or any launch attack, he's only targeting, it's a single target, right? So at that point, that's why I have so much defense down, because even with all that defense down, as you can see, we're not even getting to halfway of max brave damage being done to the main boss, which is B. And so again, the defense up and the brave gains and brave damage reductions are so ridiculous on here that without A and C, I mean, I don't think there's a way to really complete it unless you might have Setzer. I think Setzer's one of the only ones. Maybe try to bring in Porum, but I felt that it was more crucial to bring in Agrias with her HP regeneration, then also with her S1 here that obviously heals the party, but then completely shuts down the enemy with 4 or 3 different debuffs that stop the enemy from attacking. I thought that was a lot more crucial to have. So as you can see here, I need to try to get Mummy, or the main boss here, down to, I believe it's going to be 29%. So right now that it used the Cascade, I believe the next turn is going to be the Lake Fire, so I can use Agrias's EX to apply silence right here. So if you use Hollow Bolt, it's going to apply 1 turn of silence to all enemies, and that's going to stop B from landing his next attack. Then since both A and C have their HP below 50%, I'm good to go on just going as heavy as possible on B right now. And that's what I'm going to be doing with Reigns. And as you can see, Sid Reigns is hitting for maybe like 2 to 3,000 damage per hit on his launch. Even and a lot of the defense has worn off, or one of the defense down has worn off, which is one of Ace's debuffs. And this is why I use Reno, because B used Ancient Stomp, which if I would have not had Reno right now, I would have got killed. Ancient Stomp literally one-shots you, and if it didn't, all of the follow-up moves between A and C would have killed me anyway. So Reno is what helped me defeat the stage, because this is the part of the stage I was having the most trouble with B doing the Ancient Stomp follow-up after one of the ads, or both of the ads, sacrifice themselves. So now that I know that B is not going to take another forced turn whatsoever, I'm pretty much good to go. So Reno was here for the very end. At 29%, I died a few times just because I couldn't endure the hits, especially if all 3 mummies, or the 2 mummies when they're sacrificing themselves, target the same character, and then B does the follow-up move right after them. Most likely you're gonna die. At least I could not endure the hit, so that's where I wanted to bring in Reno at the very end, so that right before the B mummy hits 29%, I inflict Pyramid, and as you can see, I took no HP damage. From here on out, it's just literally stopping the enemy, or just having him not attack whatsoever. Don't even worry so much about A and C anymore. Below 29%, A and C are not considered, I wouldn't consider them, I guess, not dangerous, but you don't have to try to do damage to them anymore. They're just going to be there to help with your AoE attacks to try to now inflict as much damage as possible on B. And that's it. I did try a few other people, I think like Celis. I know Beatrix can work, maybe Celis can work. I just couldn't make none of those 2 characters work. I thought it was just better with Agrias's Confuse and Silence and Paralyze, and I just thought Agrias kind of was the better one here. She doesn't provide the best auras by far, but I think her whole kit helped, like right here, applying the Confuse again. So even then, I still have my summon. So right now I'm just gonna go ahead and let B's turn come up, and what that's gonna do is that it's going to trigger the whole trap card, because if you can notice, there's only one more trap on B, which just went away. So now I have no more traps going off. So I want B's turn to come up, and because B is confused, it's gonna turn that whole card into the blind stud turn trap, and then it's gonna start doing damage again. So you'll see here with Agrias, I can even summon as well, but the thing is that I kind of want to let the trap go off, just in case I need to inflict Confuse again for some reason, because B's turn is coming up. If you can see numerous times, once you use Agrias' LD, it'll convert her Brave attack into the Fated Molly, which will then confuse the enemy and not let him attack. So here, I honestly don't want to really risk it. I'm gonna reapply the the whole card, since the enemy already turned the whole card into the trap. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and summon, just to make sure that I don't get no surprise attack or anything like that. Now not only is the summon here gonna help me kind of guarantee to finish him, but if for some reason I couldn't, B's also paralyzed. So overall, I think it was a really fun team to use. I did try Rude. I tried to bring in Rude in here, Beatrix. I did try other characters, but I was having some trouble defeating the boss. And once I kind of put Agrias, Ace, and Reigns in here all together, it just worked out. I mean, I just felt like I had so many options to go ahead and complete this. So if you're having trouble completing this, just make sure you bring these 3 characters. I think it's going to be fairly easy with these 3 characters here. And you could bring, I think other characters that have been used have been, for example, like Y'shtola, Bardson, I believe even Zell. So you can do that. Bards and Y'shtola are really going to have Zell hit extremely hard, even like Ace, Lightning, and Core. Arden, Sid, Reigns, and Aphmau. You can do the whole Sid, Reigns, and Aphmau thing, so where they just kind of keep swapping each other's turns or moving each other's turns up. So yeah, good luck with the stage, and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for new content. Also, let me know in the comment section what you think about this mission and who you used to complete it. Check the links in the description for Opera Omnia websites that give you a bunch of helpful information, and I'll see you on the next one.